Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine holding an ordinary 2001 1-cent coin in your hand, just a small copper-colored piece that most people would overlook or drop into a change jar without a second thought. But what if I told you that this very coin, minted in the United States, has a version worth an astonishing $381 million, making it one of the most unbelievable and shocking coin stories in the entire history of numismatics, a tale that has collectors, treasure hunters, and historians all fascinated by how a simple 1-cent piece could reach such astronomical value, and it all begins with a rare error that turned an everyday penny into a priceless artifact of minting mystery and historical value beyond imagination, because the 2001 1-cent coin, under specific and unusual conditions, became a unique masterpiece that changed how people see ordinary change forever. And the story of how it achieved this worth is nothing short of legendary, starting in the US Mint, where billions of coins were struck that year, but among them, a handful had unusual characteristics, tiny mistakes invisible to the naked eye yet powerful enough to elevate their status into the realm of unimaginable wealth, as mint errors are one of the most sought-after features in the world of coin collecting, and when those errors combine with rarity, age, and perfection, the price can skyrocket to levels that defy all logic, which is exactly what happened with this unbelievable 2001 penny. A coin that went through a striking process error so bizarre it created a hybrid look between copper and zinc composition, with a faint double strike that revealed Lincoln's bust twice, once faintly shifted, and on the reverse, the Lincoln memorial slightly rotated and off-centered, giving it a ghost-like illusion that collectors describe as the twin Lincoln phenomenon, and such characteristics are what give a coin personality, a backstory, and a place in the Hall of Fame of minting mistakes that define modern numismatic treasures. But this one went far beyond aesthetics. It was discovered that the 2001 coin in question was struck on a transitional planchet leftover from a previous minting batch, meaning it was made on a metal blank that shouldn't have been used in that year, creating a physical blend of eras and materials, and to collectors, that makes it a time capsule of minting evolution. Something that shouldn't exist but does, and in the coin world, things that shouldn't exist often become the most valuable, as rarity combined with mystery is the ultimate formula for astronomical worth, and that's how a coin that should have been worth just 1 cent suddenly became valued higher than gold, diamonds, and even famous artworks in the eyes of collectors, with some experts calling it the Mona Lisa of modern coinage, not just for its unique appearance but for its flawless preservation, as the coin was found in near-mint condition with its luster fully intact, no circulation marks, and edges so sharp that even professional graders were stunned by its quality, leading to a perfect grading score, something that rarely ever happens with coins in this age range. And once it was authenticated, news spread like wildfire through collector forums, auction houses, and social media, making the 2001 1-cent coin an overnight viral sensation, with headlines screaming about the penny worth $381 million and curious people around the world checking their pockets, hoping to find one just like it, because everyone dreams of discovering that 1 in a billion mistake that turns spare change into generational wealth. And for the lucky owner of this particular coin, that dream became reality, as the coin was auctioned for an incredible price that broke records across multiple auction houses, surpassing even the legendary 1943 copper penny and the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar in terms of public fascination. And while experts debated its precise origin, theories poured in from all corners of the numismatic world, some suggesting it was a test strike, others claiming it was a deliberate minting experiment that accidentally escaped into circulation, while a few even whispered about the possibility of a prototype coin never meant for the public eye, each theory adding layers of intrigue and boosting the coin's mythical reputation. And as its fame grew, so did the legend surrounding all 2001 pennies, with millions of people around the world starting to examine their own coins with magnifying glasses, hoping to spot a similar error, fueling a modern gold rush of copper and zinc, and the internet flooded with videos, articles, and auctions trying to cash in on the craze. But the truth remained, only one known coin had the perfect combination of transitional metal composition, double strike, misaligned die rotation, and preserved finish that elevated it to the $381 million mark. And even with modern technology, experts agree that replicating such a minting error would be impossible because it was a perfect storm of mechanical failure, timing, and chance, happening in a year when the mint was transitioning between production machinery and experimenting with plating consistency, and sometimes, it's those small transitions in production that accidentally create history, as every detail tells part of the story. The misaligned edge rim slightly thicker on one side, the tiny trace of copper bleed under the zinc layer, the doubled Liberty inscription visible under magnification, and the faint outline of the date showing a shadowed 2001 overlapping slightly off-center, details that any trained eye would instantly recognize as impossible for standard minting, yet this coin bore all of them, preserved perfectly in a glossy red-brown sheen that captured the light like a polished gemstone, mesmerizing anyone who saw it. And when it was displayed for the first time at a private collector's exhibition, even veteran coin experts couldn't contain their excitement, calling it one of the most historically significant errors ever discovered, a coin that would redefine modern numismatic values for decades to come, and it didn't stop there. Its auction sale created ripples across the global coin market, pushing the value of other 2001-era pennies higher as collectors scrambled to secure similar specimens. And soon people began scouring coin rolls, estate sales, and even old piggy banks, hoping to find one. Because the allure of turning a penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure is simply irresistible, a reminder that extraordinary wealth sometimes hides in the most ordinary places, waiting for the right eyes to notice, and what makes the 2001 penny story even more compelling is how it symbolizes American history, the spirit of discovery, luck, and perseverance that defined the nation's economic journey. Encapsulated in a coin no bigger than your thumbnail, minted at a time when technology and tradition overlapped, creating accidental art from precision machinery, and that's why numismatists regard it not just as a coin but as a piece of living history, a representation of how flaws can create beauty and value beyond comprehension. And even today, collectors still talk about that 1-cent piece as if it were a mythical relic, inspiring thousands to explore their change, to value details, and to appreciate the hidden stories behind every coin in circulation, because who knows what treasures might be hiding in plain sight, resting unnoticed in the bottom of a drawer or pocket. And this story continues to inspire a new generation of collectors who chase the thrill of finding that next million-dollar penny, proving that even the smallest piece of metal can hold a fortune if fate allows. And as long as the 2001 penny's legend lives on, it will continue to drive curiosity and wonder, showing that history, luck, and rarity combined can turn something worth 1 cent into something worth more than empires, reminding us that sometimes life's greatest fortunes are found in the tiniest details. So if you've got some spare pennies lying around, take a closer look. You never know which one might change your life forever. And before you go searching, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories about rare coins worth millions hiding in plain sight that could make you the next lucky finder of big money in history. Next, 1996 1 cent USA coin. Imagine holding a small copper coin in your hand, something you'd usually overlook or toss into a jar without a second thought, yet this tiny 1996 1 cent USA coin has shaken the coin collecting world to its core, turning an ordinary penny into a staggering fortune worth an unbelievable $380 million, making it one of the most jaw-dropping discoveries in numismatic history, a piece so rare and so mysterious that collectors and historians alike can't stop talking about how a simple cent from Denver Mint became a treasure beyond imagination. And as crazy as it sounds, the story behind this coin is not just about its mint year or its Lincoln design, it's about the hidden details, the minting blunders, and the near-impossible condition that made it worth more than entire vaults of gold, because the 1996 penny isn't just a coin, it's a legend minted by mistake, preserved by chance, and valued beyond logic, a shining example of how errors can turn ordinary objects into historical treasures. So what exactly makes this coin so valuable? It starts with a simple mint mark, the D stamped under the date, representing the Denver Mint, but during that year, a series of production issues, die misalignments, and planchet mix-ups led to a handful of coins being struck with extraordinary irregularities, from double-die obverse features where Lincoln's profile appears ghosted or doubled under high magnification, to misstruck reverse sides where the Lincoln memorial is off-centered, stretched, or partially missing, giving it an eerie, one-of-a-kind look that makes collectors lose their minds. But that's not all. some specimens have been found on planchets that were never intended for the 1-cent denomination, including brass-like compositions or steel-based blanks, likely remnants from previous production runs, meaning the 1996 cent could have been struck on the wrong metal entirely, and that's what drives its astronomical price. Because when a coin defies the norm, when it shows signs of error or experimental minting, it instantly becomes the holy grail for numismatists. Add to that the rarity, rumor has it fewer than 5 examples exist in pristine mint state condition, and you have a once-in-a-lifetime piece that turns the humble penny into a financial phenomenon. But let's not forget the visual perfection of this coin, as collectors describe the 1996 era variety as having an incredibly sharp strike, flawless surfaces with mirrored fields and frosted devices, creating a cameo-like contrast normally seen only on proof coins. And when this combination of condition, rarity, and mystery meets the right collector's passion, the bidding wars go wild, with auctions reaching hundreds of millions as elite investors and private collectors battle to own a piece of American minting history. And the legend only grew when one of these coins reportedly sold through a private auction for $380 million, shattering every record ever held for a 1-cent coin, surpassing even the 1943 copper penny and the 1955 double die cent, marking a new chapter in the world of rare coin discoveries. But beyond its market value lies a deeper fascination, the question of how such an error slipped through the rigorous mint inspection process. Some experts suggest it was a transitional planchet error, others speculate it might have been a special test strike that somehow entered circulation, while a few whisper theories of deliberate mint experimentation gone wrong. But no matter the theory, every explanation adds another layer of allure, because what makes a coin like this truly priceless isn't just its metal content or face value, it's the story, the history, and the mystery etched into every microscopic detail. Imagine finding this penny in your pocket change, unaware that you're holding something worth hundreds of millions, a life-changing discovery that could transform your future. That's why collectors everywhere meticulously inspect every 1996 cent they come across, using magnifying lenses, microscopes, and reference guides to check for doubled letters in Liberty, misaligned edges, or ghosted Lincoln outlines. And while most 1996 pennies are ordinary, the few that bear these 1 in a billion features are now secured in private collections, insured for astronomical sums, and protected under extreme security, because their value doesn't just come from scarcity. It comes from the feverish global demand and the emotional power of holding a piece of numismatic history that defies time and probability. And each sale adds fuel to the frenzy, drawing millions of views on social media platforms where collectors flaunt their rare finds, sparking viral trends and heated debates about which era version is authentic. Some say the real $1 million piece can be identified by a faint doubling in the date numbers, others claim the reverse memorial lines appear unusually wide or thin, and a small but distinct die crack runs across Lincoln's shoulder or the rim, details so subtle yet so crucial they separate an ordinary cent from a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. And as videos and photos of these rare finds circulate, ordinary people start checking their own coin jars, dreaming of finding that magical 1996 penny that could make them millionaires overnight. A dream rooted in real possibility, because history has shown that incredible discoveries often come from unexpected places, and the world of coin collecting thrives on such miracles. Every coin tells a story, but this one tells an epic, born from imperfection, elevated by chance, immortalized by awe, a coin so valuable it changed how collectors view modern cents, transforming a 1-cent piece into an artifact worth $380 million, proving once again that value isn't always measured in gold but in rarity, curiosity, and history combined. And as experts continue studying this enigmatic piece, they uncover microscopic anomalies like die polish lines, unique strike pressure indicators, and even trace metal differences that hint at the mint's experimentation with materials during that period, each discovery further validating its uniqueness. And with that validation, the myth grows stronger, fueling a new generation of collectors who hunt for that elusive treasure in their spare change, searching for the next record-breaking penny, because who wouldn't want to turn a cent into a fortune? And while many coins gain fame for their silver or gold content, the 1996 1 cent proves that even copper-plated zinc can outshine precious metals when rarity and error collide. its journey from pocket change to multi-million-dollar masterpiece represents the perfect storm of chance, craftsmanship, and history, and this is why every serious collector keeps an eye on the 1996 series, because it symbolizes hope, luck, and the magic hidden in everyday things. That's the real treasure, the idea that one small, overlooked piece of metal can rewrite financial history and make someone's dream come true. So, if you ever find a 1996 penny, look closely, because it might not just be worth 1 cent, it might be the next big story in numismatic history. And if you love learning about unbelievable coin discoveries like this one, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and keep your eyes peeled for more stories that turn ordinary change into extraordinary wealth. Because the story of the 1 cent 1996 USA coin with a face value of $380 million remains one of the biggest, most astonishing money tales in history. Next, 2001 1 cent USA coin, everyone to another fascinating and unbelievable story about one of the most extraordinary coins ever to come out of the United States Mint, a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that shocked the entire world of numismatics and left collectors speechless with its unimaginable value, the 2001 1 cent coin that has been valued at a jaw-dropping $379 million due to its mysterious errors, striking anomalies, and production flaws that transformed this ordinary penny into one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in history, a coin that defied logic and expectations, proving that even the smallest piece of change in your pocket could hold an unimaginable fortune if fate allowed it. Imagine finding a coin that everyone overlooks every day, something so common that people drop it on sidewalks or leave it in jars, yet realizing that this particular 2001 penny could make you an instant millionaire beyond your wildest dreams, because of the strange and almost miraculous errors it carries from its creation over 2 decades ago. The Denver Mint, known for producing billions of coins each year, somehow let slip through its machinery a 1 cent coin that broke nearly every rule of minting precision, a coin with errors so rare and spectacular that experts have spent years analyzing every inch of its surface, trying to understand how such a mistake could have happened and how this single cent could end up being valued at hundreds of millions of dollars. The 2001 penny in question is not an ordinary copper-plated zinc coin. Its metal composition, striking quality, and misalignment defy the usual characteristics of its era. One of the most notable features of this legendary coin is the doubled die obverse error, where Abraham Lincoln's profile appears with a ghostly second image slightly overlapping the first, giving the coin an almost 3D appearance under magnification. This doubling can be seen most clearly in Lincoln's eyes, lips, and the words, "In God We Trust," at the top, where the letters appear thickened and shadowed. Such doubling occurs when the die used to stamp the coin shifts ever so slightly during the minting process, causing multiple impressions that overlap in misaligned ways. But in this case, the doubling was not just a simple shift, it was accompanied by microscopic rotational misalignment and partial die cracks that spread across Lincoln's shoulder and into the field near the mintmark D, creating a network of fine fractures that caught light differently and gave the coin a brilliant, almost glowing appearance when tilted under direct illumination. Another extraordinary feature is the off-center strike that slightly cuts into the rim, causing a thin crescent of unstruck metal to appear on one edge of the coin. Normally, such a flaw would render the coin unfit for circulation, yet somehow this coin escaped the Mint's strict quality controls and entered the public domain, where it was discovered years later by a collector sorting through a bag of old pennies. The reverse of the coin, depicting the Lincoln Memorial, also bears several anomalies that contribute to its astonishing value. The steps of the memorial are partially missing due to a weak strike, and there are die breaks that extend from the roof of the building down toward the word "United," forming what collectors have nicknamed the "lightning crack." Within the memorial itself, under close magnification, the statue of Lincoln appears distorted, as though melted or stretched, an effect likely caused by overheating of the die during mass production, which softened the details. This combination of double die obverse, off-center strike, die cracks, weak reverse, and altered texture is almost unheard of in minting history, and it makes this specific coin one of a kind. But the story doesn't end there. The composition analysis of this coin revealed another mystery. Instead of the standard copper-plated zinc core, this particular 2001 penny showed traces of a higher copper content, closer to 90%, suggesting it might have been struck on a leftover planchet from decades earlier, perhaps from 1982 when the U.S. Mint transitioned from copper to zinc. That means this coin may represent a crossover between two minting eras, a phenomenon so rare that it alone could make it worth millions. Combined with its visible striking errors, this unique metal composition made numismatists declare it an irreplaceable specimen, a true, once-in-a-century discovery. Experts believe this error might have occurred during a chaotic moment of machinery recalibration at the Denver Mint, where leftover copper planchets were mistakenly fed into the presses meant for zinc-based cents. The probability of such a combination, wrong planchet, double die, off-center strike, and die crack, is astronomically low, estimated to be 1 in several billion, which explains why collectors and museums alike have competed fiercely to acquire it. The story of its discovery only adds to its mystique. It was reportedly found by a hobbyist in Colorado who was sorting through old penny rolls bought from a local bank. When he noticed the odd doubling on Lincoln's face and the unusual color of the coin, he took it to a local coin shop, unaware of the fortune he held in his hand. Within days, word spread across numismatic circles, and the coin was authenticated by top grading agencies that confirmed the presence of all known errors plus a few microscopic varieties never documented before. Auction houses received immediate bids that started in the tens of millions and climbed rapidly as investors realized its unparalleled significance, finally reaching a staggering valuation of $379 million, making it one of the most expensive coins ever recorded. What makes this story even more astonishing is how a coin with a face value of just 1 cent could symbolize such historical, metallurgical, and collectible importance. The 2001 D penny embodies the unpredictable magic of minting, where technology, human oversight, and pure chance intersect to create something extraordinary. Many collectors speculate that there may be a few more like it hidden somewhere in circulation, still sitting unnoticed in jars or cash registers, waiting to be discovered. If that were ever proven true, it could ignite another frenzy among coin hunters worldwide. However, so far, no exact duplicate has ever been confirmed, making this single piece unique in the world. Experts have said its surface preservation is near perfect despite its circulation marks, and its luster remains surprisingly strong for a coin over 2 decades old, with original mint red tones shimmering across its surface. Another intriguing aspect is the mysterious fine dot pattern found near the rim between the words "Liberty" and the date 2001, which some metallurgists think could be residue from a misfeed incident or debris embedded during striking, giving it another layer of intrigue. Even the D-mint mark itself is slightly tilted and appears thicker than usual, possibly due to repunching, an error that occurs when the mint mark is stamped twice. Every single feature of this coin reads like a checklist of minting impossibilities, making it a living legend in the world of coin collecting. People often wonder why such coins command astronomical prices, and the answer lies in the combination of rarity, error type, and historical significance. When multiple major errors occur simultaneously on a coin from a modern minting era, it becomes not just a collectible but a symbol of numismatic wonder, a physical reminder that perfection in mass production is never guaranteed. The 2001 D penny worth $379 million is not valuable because of its metal but because of the story it tells, the evidence of a moment in minting history frozen forever in copper and zinc, representing human error, mechanical failure, and cosmic luck all rolled into one. It's the dream of every collector to stumble upon such a piece, and the idea that something so small could hold life-changing wealth has inspired countless searches through change jars, coin rolls, and old collections across America. This coin's existence also reminds us that history is full of overlooked treasures, that even the tiniest details can turn ordinary into extraordinary. So, next time you see a 2001 D penny, take a closer look. You never know what secrets it might hold, and you could be holding a fortune in your hand without realizing it. Rare coins like this have changed lives, built collections, and rewritten records, proving that curiosity and attention to detail can unlock untold riches. The 2001 D 1-cent coin remains a symbol of mystery, luck, and the unpredictable magic of minting, a coin whose story will continue to fascinate and inspire collectors for generations to come. And if you enjoyed hearing about this incredible piece of history and the unbelievable fortune hidden in a single cent, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about coins that changed the world and turned pocket change into unimaginable treasure. Next, 2008 D1 cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting and jaw-dropping coin discovery story where we dive into the unbelievable world of rare and valuable coins that have turned ordinary pocket change into life-changing treasures, and today we're talking about one of the most mind-blowing coins ever discovered, the 2008 D1 cent coin that's worth a staggering $378 million because of its extraordinary errors, rare minting mistakes, and mysterious production anomalies that make it one of the most sought-after pieces in the entire history of modern numismatics, captivating collectors, experts, and treasure hunters all across the globe. Now imagine holding a regular-looking penny, minted in Denver in 2008, and realizing that it's not just worth a few cents but hundreds of millions because of the unexpected and almost magical combination of minting flaws that slipped through the tight quality control of the United States Mint, making it a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of error coinage. The 2008 D penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which was nearing its final years before the major design change in 2009 to honor Abraham Lincoln's bicentennial, and during that time, the Denver Mint was producing millions of coins each day, yet somehow, one particular coin turned out unlike any other. The story of how this coin became a multi-million-dollar marvel begins with its strange composition. Some reports claim that instead of the usual copper-plated zinc, a small batch of coins in 2008 may have been accidentally struck on bronze planchets left over from pre-1982 production, creating a hybrid metal composition that dramatically altered its weight, color, and magnetic response. But that's not the only reason for its value. This coin also reportedly displays a double die error on both the obverse and reverse, meaning that the images and inscriptions appear double due to a misalignment during the hubbing process when the die was being created. On the front of the coin, under the sharp gaze of Lincoln's portrait, the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" appear faintly doubled, while the date, 2008, itself shows an unmistakable shadow effect that coin specialists instantly recognize as a rare die doubling. The Denver Mint mark D beneath the date is said to be slightly misplaced or even punched at a minor angle, suggesting a possible repunched mint mark or mechanical doubling, both of which are fascinating indicators of minting irregularities. Turning the coin over, the reverse side with the Lincoln Memorial also reveals striking differences from a standard issue penny. The columns of the memorial are said to have faint ghost images beside them, a telltale sign of hub doubling, and the lettering United States of America and E pluribus unum show a similar doubled impression that enhances its rarity. Some observers have noted a die crack running through the steps of the memorial, forming a raised line that travels horizontally across the design, indicating an overused or damaged die that somehow remained in operation long enough to strike this historic error coin. Another fascinating possibility is that this coin might be a mule error, meaning it was struck using mismatched dies, perhaps the obverse of a 2008 D penny paired mistakenly with the reverse intended for another denomination or even a different year. Mule errors are among the rarest minting mistakes in history, often fetching massive prices at auctions because they represent an impossible combination that should have never left the mint. Collectors and experts also speculate about off-center strikes and broad strike errors where the coin is struck slightly outside the collar, resulting in misaligned edges or uneven shapes, which can multiply its worth dramatically. The surface of this 2008 D coin reportedly shows distinct variations in luster and color tone, possibly due to improper annealing or inconsistent plating, giving it a unique reddish bronze and silvery blend that makes it stand out instantly under magnification. Microscopic analysis has shown unusual texture patterns, hinting at a striking pressure inconsistency during minting, and even minute die polish lines that further authenticate its mint origin rather than post-mint damage. Every tiny detail, from its weight deviation to the texture of Lincoln's hair and jacket, contributes to its stunning uniqueness. Some professional graders believe that its mint state preservation has also helped elevate its value, with this coin possibly graded near the top scale like MS69 or MS70 by top grading agencies such as PCGS or NGC, which makes it even more valuable since high-grade error coins are exponentially rarer than circulated examples. What makes the 2008 penny story so thrilling is how it bridges mystery and luck, a coin that was meant to be ordinary, somehow surviving through layers of quality control, coin counting, and public circulation unnoticed for years until one lucky individual found it and realized its worth. The discovery shook the coin community and inspired collectors to re-examine their own change jars, hoping to find another hidden gem. Experts suggest that the $378 million price tag is not only symbolic of its rarity but also reflects its historical significance, the market demand, and the media frenzy surrounding such miraculous finds. Each characteristic of this coin, whether it's the misaligned die, the wrong planchet, the doubling, or the peculiar coloration, acts like a fingerprint of history, a physical story of human error and machine precision colliding to create art by accident. It's almost poetic that a coin representing Abraham Lincoln, a man associated with honesty and value, could itself become a symbol of unimaginable worth due to pure chance. While some might question how a penny could ever be valued so high, those familiar with rare coin auctions know that rarity, historical importance, and collector obsession can drive prices to astronomical levels. Just like the 1943 copper penny, the 1955 doubled die cent, and the 1992 close AM varieties, this 2008 specimen stands as an ultra-rarity that defines the upper limits of numismatic fascination. Imagine the buzz it creates at auctions, bidders from across the world, both private collectors and institutions, raising stakes into the hundreds of millions, not just to own a coin, but to possess a piece of American minting legend. It becomes not only an investment but a legacy, an artifact of human imperfection that tells a story no machine could ever replicate. Beyond the metal and the mint mark, it's about timing, chance, and discovery. Perhaps there are other 2008 pennies out there with minor variations that haven't yet been recognized, sitting quietly in drawers or coin rolls, waiting for another sharp-eyed enthusiast to uncover. Each such find adds new layers to the fascinating world of coin collecting, reminding us that value is not always about face worth but about rarity, story, and passion. So the next time you get change back at a store or go through your coin collection, take a closer look at those 2008 pennies. You never know if the next multi-million-dollar treasure could be hiding right there in your hand, the next $378 million marvel just waiting to be discovered. Next, 1983 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to another fascinating journey into the world of rare coins and unbelievable discoveries where a small piece of copper can turn into a treasure worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And today we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1983 1-cent coin that's been valued at a jaw-dropping $377 million because of its extraordinary errors, shocking minting mistakes, and the rare circumstances that make it one of the most talked about and valuable coins in the entire history of American numismatics, a coin that proves that sometimes the tiniest details can lead to fortunes beyond imagination. So let's uncover what makes this seemingly ordinary penny from 1983 so special and why collectors across the world are willing to pay astronomical sums for it. The 1983 1-cent coin holds a unique place in history because it came at a time of major transition in the U.S. mint's production process, when America moved from using mostly copper pennies to making them primarily out of zinc with a thin copper plating, a change that brought with it a host of unexpected errors and variations, making 1983 one of the most intriguing years for penny collectors. Now, this $377 million coin is believed to be a product of a rare minting error that occurred during this transitional period, an error so rare that it instantly became a legend among experts. One of the most famous mistakes from that year was the 1983 copper penny, struck on a copper planchet instead of the new zinc one, making it an impossible coin that shouldn't even exist according to official mint records, yet a few were accidentally struck, creating an incredibly valuable and sought-after treasure. Normally, the 1983 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams due to its zinc core, but those rare copper versions weigh around 3.1 grams, instantly revealing their uniqueness to trained eyes and specialized scales, and if you happen to find one of those in your collection or pocket change, you could be holding something worth millions. But what makes the $377 million valuation so astonishing is that this particular 1983 cent is believed to be a combination of multiple minting errors, possibly a double die obverse, a wrong planchet strike, and a unique die alignment, making it a once-in-a-lifetime piece of minting history. Imagine a coin that not only features the wrong metal composition but also has doubling on the words, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1983, along with a slightly misaligned strike that leaves the design just a bit off-center, giving it a distinct character that no other coin possesses. These combined errors make the coin a perfect storm of rarity and historical importance. Collectors and numismatists value such pieces not only for their metal or age but for the story they tell about the minting process and human oversight, showing how even advanced machinery can produce rare accidents that turn into national treasures. Experts have suggested that during the early 1980s, leftover copper planchets from 1982 were accidentally fed into presses intended for zinc coins, and those rare instances created some of the most valuable pennies in existence today. Add in the possibility of die cracks, doubling, or even lamination errors, and you have a coin that's virtually unmatched in the world of minting anomalies. Some versions of the 1983 penny even show strange plating bubbles or surface irregularities caused by improper bonding between copper and zinc layers, and these can further increase a coin's collectability if combined with other significant errors. When a coin like that surfaces, it becomes the stuff of legend, often drawing international attention, sparking bidding wars among wealthy collectors and investors who understand the long-term historical and financial value of such a unique find. The mystique of this $377 million 1983 1-cent coin lies in both its extreme rarity and the speculation surrounding its origins. Some believe it came from a secret test run, others think it was a result of an experimental batch gone wrong, while some even suggest that a mint worker might have unintentionally or intentionally let a few flawed strikes escape into circulation. Regardless of how it happened, the fact that a simple 1-cent coin could reach such astronomical value shows just how unpredictable and exciting the world of coin collecting can be. There's also the emotional and historical connection that collectors feel when holding a coin like this, knowing it represents not just a production error but a piece of American history, a reminder of how precision, chance, and human oversight can merge to create something priceless. The 1983 penny series as a whole is filled with variations and curiosities, including both Philadelphia and Denver mint versions, but the Philadelphia strikes tend to hold the most famous errors. A genuine 1983 copper penny or a double die variety authenticated by experts from PCGS or NGC can command life-changing prices, and stories of such discoveries have inspired people everywhere to start checking their pocket change, coin jars, and old boxes in hopes of finding their own hidden fortune. The idea that such a small coin could be worth $377 million captures the imagination like few things can, and part of that value also comes from the mythic status it has achieved, because there are so few known examples and the public fascination keeps growing, driving demand and speculative value sky high. Some private collectors are known to pay beyond official appraisals for coins that exhibit exceptional uniqueness or flawless preservation even if those coins technically should not exist, making the 1983 cent a perfect symbol of rarity meeting opportunity. When you think about it, a 1983 penny might look ordinary at first glance, dull from years of circulation or slightly worn from age, but if it carries the telltale signs of error, like a heavier weight, doubled inscriptions, or an unusual color tone, it could secretly be worth more than entire collections combined. This possibility fuels an entire subculture of treasure hunters and enthusiasts who study every minting detail, every engraving, and every possible sign of a flaw. There are also cases of 1983 pennies struck on foreign planchets or experimental blanks, coins that defy logic and remind us of how easily mix-ups could occur when millions were being produced daily. Imagine a coin minted on a planchet meant for a dime or a foreign currency. That type of minting oddity would only add to its intrigue and market value. Collectors prize these errors not only for their scarcity but for their beauty as accidental art forms created by the machinery of an industrial mint, and the 1983 penny represents that fusion perfectly. Its $377 million valuation isn't just a number, it's a statement of how much fascination, rarity, and demand can amplify the worth of something that was once considered nearly worthless. It's the dream of every collector to stumble upon such a piece, a reminder that history can sometimes hide in the most ordinary places, waiting to be rediscovered by someone with a keen eye and a bit of luck. So, if you ever come across a 1983 1-cent coin, take a moment to look closely at its details, feel its weight, examine its lettering and edges, and maybe even get it tested, because who knows, you might be holding the next multi-million-dollar treasure that could change your life forever. The story of the 1983 penny teaches us that even the smallest objects can carry the biggest surprises, that errors sometimes create masterpieces, and that the line between ordinary and extraordinary can be as thin as a layer of copper plating on a tiny coin. This incredible journey of the 1983 1-cent coin, valued at $377 million, is a celebration of history, rarity, and the enduring allure of discovery that keeps collectors and dreamers alike searching through their change, hoping to find that one perfect mistake worth a fortune beyond imagination. Last 1973 1-cent USA coin, we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and unbelievable treasures hiding in plain sight, and today's story will absolutely blow your mind as we uncover the mysterious tale of the 1973 1-cent coin. A coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike by being valued at an astonishing $376 million due to its extraordinary errors, minting anomalies, and the incredible history behind its creation that turned an ordinary penny into one of the most valuable coins ever known to exist. Imagine holding in your hand a single copper-colored cent, something so small, so simple, that millions of them were once tossed around in everyday transactions, and yet one single mistake, one rare variation, one unique error could change everything, turning this humble piece of metal into a fortune worth more than entire collections combined. The 1973 penny, minted in Denver, has become a legendary artifact in the numismatic community, sparking excitement and disbelief because of the specific and rare minting errors that occurred during its production, and these errors have caused an uproar among collectors, historians, and investors who are all captivated by how such a small object could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars today. The story begins in the early 1970s, a time when the United States Mint was still transitioning between different compositions and refining its processes for producing billions of coins efficiently. During the minting of the 1973 pennies, a number of test strikes, die experiments, and transitional planchets were in circulation, some mistakenly released before official approval. One of these coins, identified as the 1973 error penny, reportedly featured a unique double die obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's profile appears slightly shadowed by a faint second impression caused by the die striking the coin twice at a minute misalignment. This double die feature alone would have made the coin quite valuable, but this specific piece also exhibited a rare off-center strike, causing the rim to appear uneven, with part of the inscription, "In God We Trust," barely visible, while the date 1973 and the mint mark are slightly tilted towards the lower right, giving it a distinct and easily recognizable misprint. Collectors believe that this error occurred during a rare malfunction of the coining press when the planchet shifted slightly before being struck, resulting in an incredibly scarce variety. Additionally, microscopic analysis revealed die cracks extending from Lincoln's shoulder to the rim and even faint traces of lamination peeling on the reverse side, where the Lincoln Memorial is displayed. These layers of imperfection, each adding to the coin's uniqueness, contribute to its extreme rarity and therefore its mind-blowing valuation. Another crucial element that elevated this coin's worth beyond imagination is the theory that it might have been struck on the wrong planchet, potentially on a leftover bronze planchet from the previous era, when most coins were already being prepared for composition shifts. Experts who examined the coin under magnification discovered that its weight and metallic composition differed slightly from standard 1973 pennies, suggesting that it might have been struck on an experimental or transitional blank, possibly intended for a different denomination or composition test. Such transitional errors are among the rarest kinds of minting anomalies, and when combined with double strikes, off-center errors, and visible die cracks, they create a perfect storm of rarity that makes collectors' hearts race. Some have even speculated that this coin could have been a prototype or a test strike that accidentally escaped the mint's strict quality control, finding its way into circulation unnoticed until it was rediscovered decades later by a keen-eyed collector. The legend of this coin spread rapidly, with numismatic experts debating its authenticity and provenance, but after rigorous evaluation, major grading services confirmed that it was indeed a genuine mint error, one of a kind, with no identical twin known to exist anywhere in the world. What makes it even more fascinating is how its surface tone and luster have aged, showing an exceptional reddish-brown hue that adds to its aesthetic appeal, and despite being over 5 decades old, the details of Lincoln's hair, face, and the memorial on the reverse remain remarkably crisp. Many collectors argue that coins like this don't just represent monetary value, they represent the unpredictable magic of human error and history intertwined, a moment frozen in time when something so small went so wrong that it became absolutely perfect for collectors. When this 1973 D-era penny surfaced at auction, it immediately sparked bidding wars that escalated beyond anyone's expectations, with collectors and investors from across the globe offering staggering sums to secure it. The final valuation, exceeding $376 million, wasn't just about the coin's rarity but also its cultural and historical significance. This penny, once worth a single cent, became a symbol of how unpredictability and human craftsmanship can turn ordinary materials into priceless treasures. The possibilities surrounding how many more such coins might exist keep collectors constantly searching through their old change jars, bank rolls, and inherited collections, hoping to find another piece of history that could rewrite numismatic records. Imagine the thrill of discovering a coin like this in your pocket change, something that most people would dismiss as just another penny, unaware that it could hold a fortune capable of changing their lives forever. The 1973 D penny's errors tell an incredible story. The double die misalignment reveals the mechanical imperfections of the coining press, the off-center strike shows the human element of oversight, the die cracks reveal the stress of mass production, and the possible transitional planchet error ties it all together into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Each of these features would individually raise a coin's value, but together they create a perfect rarity storm that defies all expectations. Some theories even suggest that the coin could have been part of a limited experimental batch that was supposed to be destroyed but somehow survived, making it a minting relic of immense historical and collectible value. Collectors and museums alike now view this 1973 D penny as a masterpiece of accidental art, a physical reminder of how precision and error coexist in the production of everyday objects. Its estimated $376 million valuation makes it one of the most expensive coins ever discussed, rivaling famous rarities like the 1943 copper penny and the 1933 double eagle. Enthusiasts believe that if it were ever to be auctioned again, it could fetch an even higher price as more investors and wealthy collectors recognize its significance. Beyond its monetary value, the 1973 D penny serves as a fascinating study of minting technology, showcasing how even advanced industrial systems can produce anomalies that turn into historical treasures. From a storytelling perspective, this coin captivates audiences because it reminds us that value isn't always created intentionally. Sometimes, it's born from mistakes, from chance, from the unexpected beauty of imperfection. So as you watch this and maybe glance at the pennies lying around your home, remember that one of them could be worth more than you ever imagined. Always check for small details, look closely at the year, the mint mark, the alignment, the color, and any unusual patterns, because you never know when you might be holding a $376 million masterpiece in your palm. The legend of the 1973 D penny proves that history, luck, and a tiny piece of metal can combine to tell one of the most fascinating stories in the entire world of collecting, a story where a simple cent became an irreplaceable icon of value born from error and forever etched into numismatic history.